to get everybody. We're going to do a practice test today. But first, I want to go over some things that I think are confusing people. Okay, it's there. Cool. Okie dokie. Oh, almost everybody. I love y'all because y'all are always in on time. Okay. There was, I guess it hasn't been popping up for you all, but in the other class it kept popping up. So I wanted to make sure I did it with you. It's not on yours. So that's why you haven't been getting it. Okay. Let me do this. All right, so I think the last class we were talking about the energy pyramid, but today I want to quickly touch on taxonomy. All right, class, we're going to do this real quick, and then I have a quiz activity for you to do. So we need a grade for this week, so this is going to be a grade. All right, taxonomy. So again, as we prepare for the Georgia milestone, and hopefully all of you have gone to get your laptops or your Chromebooks checked. I think today's the last day for that, so make sure that you have done that. All right, so taxonomy. Taxonomy is a word that talks about how we classify living things. And we've already talked about it in ecology or in the classification of living things. We've talked about cells being your basic, and then cells make tissues, and a group of tissues make organs, and a group of organs make organ systems, and a group of organs make an organism. And that takes us to ecology. And an organism is an individual, and then a group of organisms make a population. Several different kinds of populations make a community, and communities live on the planet in an ecosystem. And then there's several ecosystems on the planet, and we call that the biosphere. So that's our classification unit on that side. Then we want to look at, if we're going to take one little individual, how will we classify all the different kinds of plants, all different types of animals? So there is a classification of living things, and they are separated into large groups of related organisms and then into smaller subgroups until we get to something we call the scientific name. So our scientific name is Homo sapien. And I don't want to go through all of that. Okay, so basically by the time we get down to us as an individual, we are going to be so they've picked here as 3 different organisms. So if we're looking at the animal kingdom, and actually I needed to start back with classification, there are 6 kingdoms. We'll get back to that in a minute. Since I'm here, I'll stay here. There are 6 kingdoms. One of the kingdoms is called the animal kingdom, but there's a lot of animals on the planet, so we need to be able to distinguish one animal from another. So we go by the classifications of their structure and their function. And so again, the large kingdom is the animal kingdom. And then in next subgroup under that is chordata. And actually, hold on one second. I had a better thing that I did yesterday. I'm going to put this picture in the chat for you. What are you doing? I don't want that. I want giving. There was a lovely picture that I shared with the other class, so I'm going to share it with you also. All right, so as you see, and I actually shared two different pictures with them, but the first one, mm, okay, this was one of them. All right, so if you are keeping notes somewhere, copy this picture into your notes so that you can study it, because you do need to be familiar with the system of classification. All right, so so what this does is, all righty. So what this one is doing, humans, just like the one in Canvas. So the kingdom, this particular kingdom of animals, animals that are able to move on their own, as opposed to plants, which do not move on their own. They are living things, but they tend to be grounded. They move, they can move, they turn towards the sun, but that's not moving away on their own. Okay, so that's the first description of a kingdom for animals. Each kingdom has its own description. But there are lots of animals. So then we break it down to a subgroup called the phylum. And in our case, the subgroup is called the chordata. And the characteristics of chordata is animals with the backbone. Okay, so we're still animals with a backbone. But then there's lots of animals with backbones. A snake has a backbone. I think the picture that they had over here, your dinosaur, you like that, Andre, it has a backbone. Snail has a shell, but it's not a backbone. But you see, these two are chordata. So we're not with the dinosaur, so we need to be able to separate ourselves from a dinosaur. All right. So where was my picture now? I lost it. Where'd it go? Anyway, click back on that. Oh, I see where it is. No, that's not it either. Okay. Anyway, all right. So subgroup to phylum is a class. In our case, the subgroup is called mammals because they are chordates with hair on their body and feed their young with milk. Not all mammals do that. I mean, not all chordates do that. So that's a classification specification for mammals. They have mammary glands. All right, but then we're still in the group with the cows and the goats and all those kinds of folks. They have mammary glands, they have fur on their body, but we're not them. So we look at another subgroup called order. And this order, our subgroup is called primates, and they are mammals with collarbones and grasping fingers. Not all animals can do this. They have paws, they have digits, like cats have little, they have digits, but they can't grasp. Opposable thumb kind of makes that possible. So that with that's primates, but that still puts us in the group with the monkeys. So we want to get out of that group and we come down to family. Our family has three-dimensional vision, basically, for us. We don't have we kind of have a flat face, but it's not protruded like a dog, has a snout and all that, flat face, three-dimensional vision. But there's still a lot of, still kind of puts us in a group with the monkeys. So we separate that out. Upright posture and large brains is and when we get down to this group, right, these two groups right here, this is where we specify. So this is like saying family. The family name is a genus. When I say family, if you all have a last name, and then you have a first name that identifies you out of your family. family. So we kind of do it backwards with classification. The genus name goes first, and then the specification of species goes last. So everybody has a species name that includes the genus and species classification term. So we are Homo sapiens, okay? So when we come back to Canvas, and we're looking at this one, hopefully I didn't even look to see that they were switching back and forth. So you see this one, even though we started off, all three of these started off as animals, these two started off as chordates. Then when we got down to class, it changed. They were reptiles and we were mammals. And then their order, family, and genus names changed as ours went to Homo sapiens. So this is how you look at the classification system. And then we need to go back. So let me go back in the module to talk about kingdoms and phylums and all that sort of thing before they have a mnemonic for that. It's called what is it? King Philip close our front door, sir. King, let me look at that again. Let me look at that. Okay, King Philip closed our front door, sir. Yeah, that's the mnemonic for that. So if you remember these in order, that's one way to do it. You can make up your own, but that's typically the one most people use. Okay, and you do need to know them in order because you need to know what is the subgroup of the other one. All right, so again, I sent you this picture for you to put it, download it somewhere, save it, study it, so that you can learn the classification, taxonomy classification in order. All righty, so trying to get to the kingdom phylum thingy. On the system of naming, it's called binomial nomenclature, using two names. Binomial is using two names. And where are they not giving me? All right, a dichotomous key is where if we have two organisms and we want to identify them, we go by their structure and characteristics, and they go dichotomous means there's two sentences. There's always two sentences. At the end of the sentence, you're going to say yes or no. If you say yes, it'll tell you to go to the next one. If you say no, it'll also direct you somewhere. All right, so they kind of look like something like this. And let me see, I had one specific. They got this crazy one. All right, so we're looking at the dichotomous key for this one. If we're looking at A, we would say that does it have teeth? Or no, it doesn't have teeth. So we look at B. Teeth are absent. Their teeth are absent. So again, we say yes or no. So if we say yes, we do what it tells you. It says go to number 3. So we jump down to number 3. Is the red skin on the cheeks? No. Does it have green cheeks? Yes, it does. So then that's the name. So it'll either take you to another step or it'll give you a name. So A is called a zeta circa. Okay, so we look at B. B, go back to the top. Teeth are present, no teeth. Teeth are absent. Teeth are absent. So we go to number 3 because that's what it tells us to do. Does it have red cheeks? Yes, it does. So then it tells you that this one is zeta rubar. Okay, so this is how you use a dichotomous key. All right, you just follow the directions and it's always in sets of 2. The question is always yes or no. Is it this? If you say yes, it'll tell you what another step to go to, or it will give you an answer. All right. All righty. But it has not given me, it's in here somewhere. Okay. This thing is so bad. Graph is simply like the family tree, except calligraphs look like that. It looks like a tree. Okay. They don't normally look like that either. There, they look like this. Okay. So, and if they're related, somehow they'll be on the same branch of the tree. Okay. So this one, the branch was vertebrates. So all of these organisms are vertebrates, but you can separate them by other characteristics. Okay. So sharks don't have hair. So they're down here. They bony fish have scales. These have limbs, but all of these have limbs. So they're all going to have similar. The lines will be the difference between one characteristic and another. But this is a calligraph. So take a look at that. Okay. And again, I'm going through these kind of quickly, just pointing out the main things that you need to know. Okay. This is the one I was trying to get you to. So again, this is a family tree, but these are the things you need to know. There are 6 kingdoms. So we were talking about the fact that we are in the animal kingdom, but the other kingdoms are fungi, plants, protista, uh, archaeobacteria, and eubacteria. And that's the other picture that I want to get for you all. Uh, and all right, I like this one. Okay. So let's look at this. These are the 6 kingdoms, and they give you the classifications. So you need to vocabulary. I can't stress enough that you need to study your vocabulary. Eukaryotes are the ones that have a definite nucleus with a membrane around it. Prokaryotes do not. Okay, they have nuclear material, but not a true nucleus. All right, they are so animals are multicellular. They can also be unicellular, but they tend to be multicellular. They are heterotrophs, which means that they get their food, they're consumers. They don't make their own food. Plants are the only autotrophs. They make their own food. All right, examples are here, humans, fish. You see how there's a lot of different kinds. So this is why we need that that breakdown of how do we get to and up here. Let me give you this too. All right, there you go. All right, you should be taking notes. Please make sure you download those. Okay, let's see. How long is this? What time is it? I want to give you time to.
Kingdoms. All life on Earth can be placed into one of 6 groups based on similarities. The groups are called kingdoms. The 6 kingdoms are plant, animal, bacteria, archaea, protist, and fungi. Members of the plant kingdom include flowers, trees, cactuses, and more. All plants are made of plant cells. Also, all plants are autotrophs because they make food through photosynthesis. Organisms in the animal kingdom include bears, fish, insects, and other multicellular organisms. All animals are made of animal cells that have a nucleus. Cells with a nucleus are called eukaryotic. Lastly, all animals are heterotrophs because they eat food for energy. Bacteria are single-celled organisms that live almost everywhere. Bacteria cells are different from animal cells because they do not have a nucleus. Cells without a nucleus are called prokaryotic. Archaea are similar to bacteria because both are single-celled prokaryotes. However, archaea have a different chemical makeup than bacteria. The next group are called protists. These organisms are microscopic and can be found in pond water. Some examples are paramecium, amoebas, and euglenas. Mushrooms belong to the fungi group. Mold on an orange is another example of a fungi. Fungi are decomposers because they absorb energy from dead organisms. So go exploring and try to group your discoveries by cell type, ability to make food, and the number of cells in their body. Place your discoveries into a kingdom. Kingdom. All life on Earth can be placed.
Oops. All right. So again, the other thing I want to point out is that they do an upside down pyramid for this because kingdoms include a lot of things and you get more specific as you go down. Here again, they did one of these. Can I make this bigger? Where the bear is in the kingdom up at the top. Then we look at the chordata. Well, all of these are still chordata. That took out our starfish, but we still have the snake in this group. Mammals, we took out the snake, but we still have our squirrel. Down here in the order, we took out the squirrel because he's not in the same order of carnivores. And I'm showing you this because there's different names than what I showed you that we had. When we get down to family, we took out the fox, but we still have different kinds of bears. Down here, we have these two are closely related. They're cousins. But down here, we look at just an individual species of bear. He's got a genus and species name that is different from the black bear. Okay. All righty. All right. So that's the review I wanted to do today. What I want you to do now is oh shucks. Okay, give me a minute. I'm gonna put a link in the chat for you to do. I had copied the link and then I've copied all these other things. So now I got to copy the link again. All right. So this is for a grade, folks. I need everybody to log in. Lost a couple of people. Folks, y'all cannot be logging in and logging out. This is for a grade. I need everybody to log into the activity. I will, and it's in your, come on, paste. There we go. Save. All right, this is an assignment that you're going to have to download a score for me. So when you finish this, so go ahead and log into that. When you finish, you're going to take a picture of your little avatar with your score, do a screenshot, and you're going to deposit that. Okay, you have something called the GM Biology Practice, Milestone Biology Practice. You're going to place that here. All right. So don't worry about this one because I think that's a different one to yours. In fact, I need to edit it because you will have a different one. Okay, so that should take you to yours. Save. So what you're going to do with that is you're going to send me a screenshot when you get to the end of, let me edit it again, of your score. There are 20 questions. There we go. Full directions. Sue. All right. So go ahead and log in. I have 3 people logged in already. I should have more people than that. Everybody should do this now. This is your grade for today. I got 3 people logged in. Use your correct name, please. I got 5 people. 3 of y'all still holding out. I don't know where my friend Andre went. He logged out. Somebody else is missing too. All right, let's go, folks. Everybody needs to log into this. I'm missing Imani. I'm missing. There we go. All righty. Who else am I missing? Xander. I don't see you. I got you. Xander, you must have walked off and taken a nap somewhere. And Andre just left us all together. All right, but this is your grade for today. So please, there are 20 questions. When you finish this, use the rest of the time to go and use the Georgia milestone packet that we've been looking at. Take your time, don't rush to it. Again, this is the grade that I'm putting in the grade book, so look at each question carefully. Now we'll go over these answers on Tuesday. Xander, are you there? And please focus on taking this test. Only do it once. You do need to complete this today. This is not a come back and do it tomorrow activity. If you are present, you need to do it today. If you are present and don't do it, that's a 0. There we go. Thank you, Xander. Missing. Oh, okay, Malaysia. All right, so while you do that, let me do attendance. All right, and again, when you get to the end, just you're gonna have a picture of your little avatar and a score of the little slidey picture with your score. Screenshot that and then upload that to the folder. And then when you finish that, please use the rest of the time to use the Georgia Milestone link that I gave you. Read the study guide part of it so that you know all the topics. Finally. All right, good morning, Malaysia. I just put a link in the chat. They're doing an activity. It's your graded assignment for today. Please log in and do that quiz. When you get to the end of the quiz, they'll give you a little avatar with your score. Please screenshot that and upload it to the assignment folder. Yes, you screenshot your screenshot your score and send me that picture. Put it in the folder. She's not there. All right, don't forget to send that screenshot to me because I take your grade from the screenshot. That's my evidence you were there, even though I can see you. Brooklyn, you must be multitasking. Please get this done first, and then you can do whatever else you need to do. No, I don't want you to send it in the chat. It needs to be in the grade book. So please there is okay, hold on, let me show you. Folks, I don't need it in the chat. I need it where it can be graded. Ah, I see the problem. Let me go back and fix. Oh, yeah, I see the problem. Okay. Don't send it in the chat, folks. There was not a box for you to submit it. So hold on, I'm going to fix that right now. Okay. All right, there we go. Now you can submit it. What just happened here? There we go. All right, folks. So yeah, some of y'all are finished and you did your screenshot, but you didn't know where to put it. So now you know where to put it. Okay, upload your picture. Do not send it to me in the chat. And again, what you're sending me, when you get to the end of the quiz, you should have a picture of your little avatar and it'll have your score. That's what you sent me. Thank you, Anaya. That's exactly what I need. Okay. Yeah, Avenue Wake, while you were logged out, edited the folder. So now it has a drop screen where you put your screenshots. I accidentally did not include that the last time. So if you find the assignment, it says GM biology practice, put your screenshot there. You're welcome. Thank you, Jamarion. I got yours. Thank you, Ebony. I got yours. Again, folks, if you are present in class, this is something that you should be able to complete today. This is not a tomorrow activity. And again, once you finish the quiz, please send me your screenshot. Imani, if you're done, please send your screenshot. And Leisure, don't send it in the chat. Send it in the Dropbox on the grade assignment page. The same picture you just sent me in the chat. Put that in the Dropbox, please. All right, so right now I'm just waiting for Xander and Imani and Andrew. All right. Katie, you've just signed into the wrong class. This is fourth period. So if you're signed in with me, you're being marked absent someplace else. Imani, you're offline and you didn't submit your work for the day. Folks, if you log in to class, people, please submit your work for the day. All right, it looks like everybody's finished. I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. And again, if you are finished, hopefully you're working on the milestone packet that I sent you out earlier. Again, the first column is like the study guide. Go through and read all of those things, compare that, what's in the highlights to a unit in Canvas so that you can get a little more background information on what that's about. Love this little classroom. I just thought this little picture was so cute. All right, so on, I see you guys on Tuesday. I will go over the answers to that test. Most of you did pretty good. Couple of y'all, a couple of y'all took the time to do it again, so that was good. That was good. So I will definitely print the higher score. If you haven't sent me your screenshot yet, please make sure you do that before you log off because it's almost time to go. Somebody's missing. All right, so Xander, Imani, and Malaysia. Malaysia, did you figure out how to send that to me? You need to put it in the Dropbox for the assignment. There's an assignment folder for, it says GM biology practice. Send it there, please. Xander, you too? Okay, you sure? Because it's not showing up. I refreshed my page. Let me get there. I got it. All right, Xander, that just leaves you. All right, folks, you all have a great weekend. I'll see you next week.